Max Mian. I hope you're doing well. Mata Academy na Mamo Kono, director, how are you? Sorry about that noise. Kansubire muri steady nyo. I'm okay, Martha. How are you? Sammy, how are you? I hope you guys are doing well. Cosmas Agaba, Chibirango Kosi. I hope you guys are doing well. Yeah. So today, self-love. Self-love is important. Ata filter ina VVTI ineda 7 ina EFI CVVTI ina EFI is a motoka new one doza kutandika ngana 2000 I think 2004 is ina VVTI ila shape yazo ya njawulo ila bozanga zo bazita new model ina guy for want tuina levels tuina super new model old model Katara Satu Kawundo Chibina Tina Manyaga. Hi Caesar, how are you? Ogado was a Caesar. You guys are doing well. Akatana lero mukalabye obe wamwe etonye because this side it has shone, the sun has shone very bright. So self-love, apparently self-love is one of the things that people learn later on in life. Majority of human beings, they learn self-love when they're in their 40s or 50s. Why does this happen? That's probably something we have to figure out when we understand what you have to do when you start having self-love, for you to understand that you've reached the level where you actually experience self-love, where you're practicing self-love. Majority of us, we have grown up being taught to love our neighbors. Like we love ourselves, but apparently we don't even know how to love ourselves. We don't even know how to love ourselves. So I'm wondering, if you don't know how to love yourself, how are you going to love your neighbor? But you know, that's what the Bible says. Love your neighbor as you love yourself. Love and respect your parents. That's what the Bible says, right? Kakati, it's important that we understand what means to love ourselves. What does it mean when Arthur says, okay, now I love myself? I think I learned and I started practicing self-love. I started doing this during the lockdown. You know, the lockdown taught me a lot of things, but one of the things that I learned and mastered during the lockdown was that there are things that are out of your control. No matter what you do, no matter how powerful you are, no matter how educated you are, no matter how exposed you are, no matter how wise and knowledgeable you are, some things will always be beyond your control. You can imagine during the lockdown, I think almost all countries had a lockdown apart from Tanzania. But even Tanzania that didn't have a lockdown, they kind of had a lockdown from other countries because Tanzanians, would move freely in their country, but they would not move freely to other countries. You get? So the lockdown was global. And during that lockdown, before the lockdown, I had hypertension. I normally call it high blood pressure, but I hadn't reached that level of high blood pressure. I was hypertensive. I had hypertension, and it was really high. And before I realized it was actually hypertension, I used to have this guilt feeling, and I would feel like, oh, and if you have that feeling, by the way, go get your pressure checked, your blood pressure checked, because for some time I was feeling like, but I hadn't done anything, but I kept having this guilty feeling. Hi, I like the topic today, Ujambo. Yes, because I really feel down lately. I just hate love. I totally understand, and I think today's topic is basically going to help you start to love yourself more, because when you love yourself more, so many things don't put you down. I really love this topic. Looking forward to learning more today. Mr. Emma, I'm okay. My schedule changes. Good Saturday and Sunday I'm home. Hi Brian. Hi Joe and Jojo. Long time. Hi Mark. Bashir is saying ngojeke ebiziyiza. Bashir saying filter ataina kizibu kiralo kujako kunywa amafuta. Nuwa moro kambala gavu. People that have the nuwas don't have any issue with them. Because those nuwas are very durable, by the way. Tezina buzibu kujako kunywa amafuta. Kasita moro kazi nenda resistanya mafuta zajja no way yo. Nefukanga, it's almost a burden right now. Joan is saying hi, long time. By the way, I sat in a Tesla Model 3 last Saturday. It was a great feeling, and you should come sit in my Corolla. The feeling of Tesla, because most Ugandans can't afford a Tesla. But Kongs, I totally understand. Tesla must feel nice. Must feel nice. New cars are new cars. Let's see. Sammy is saying, Arthur, I recently deal with wheel alignment, but my wheels are not that steady on the road. Could it be my steering rack? No. The steering rack, when the steering rack is faulty, I don't know which car you have, but if you have these new model cars, you would, it will be, what should I say? It will make a lot of noise down there. It's if the wheels are not steady on the road, go redo wheel alignment. Go to a different place and do wheel alignment. I normally recommend City Oil. They do a good job. But you can go to, you see this couple along Bombo Road. They are also good. Normally there are people that do wheel alignment, and even when they find faults, they will not tell you. They will just let you go. But there are places when you go and they are doing wheel alignment and there are things you need to fix, they'll tell you go fix them and then come back. You get, so first go redo wheel alignment at a place, one of the places I've told you. If they find anything wrong, they will tell you. If there is nothing wrong, if you did wheel alignment, then there was a reason why you were doing wheel alignment. Okay, so probably it was poorly done. That's my suspicion. I can't say for sure, but that's my suspicion. Self-love is the best. Arnold is saying, hey Arthur, what's your opinion about hybrids? I'm not for hybrids anymore. I'm going to tell you why soon. Greetings from Hong Kong. How are you? How is Hong Kong? Is it hot, cold? What's the current price of a Corolla 2001 model? I'm only joking. It depends where you find it, but you can get it 12, 15 million, depending on the condition, definitely. Yeah, but you can have maximum, you can have not less than 10 million to get a good one. Yeah, but they are there. They are there. You just have to take your time as you're looking. Like I tell you, when you're going to buy a car, give yourself a full day minimum to look for a car, and then let the brokers take you around. And I normally tell you, avoid buying cars from the bonds if you can. I totally understand that there are times when the only good car, the only available car will be in those bonds. Then go ahead and buy. But in my experience, all the people I've helped buy cars, we don't buy them from the bonds. That's why you find that we get very good cars at very good prices. Yeah, so from experience. Anyway, self-love, you guys. Like I said, the Bible tells us to love our neighbors the way we love ourselves. And apparently we find that everyone else is our neighbor. So we are trained to love everyone else, but we are not trained to love ourselves. Probably because we are also raised by people that don't know how to love themselves. So they love us more than they love themselves, our parents, I mean. And by that, they don't teach us to love ourselves because, well, they want, when the time comes for us to try to start and express love by giving, then we love them more than we love ourselves because, well, they gave themselves to us instead of loving themselves. So it's important that an individual learns to have self-love. Okay, it's important that an individual learns to have self-love, because when you have self-love, you'll avoid a lot of problems. Okay, first of all, your emotions will not be controlled by other people, and it doesn't mean that you're not going to love other people. Men were created to love women, to love a woman at least, to love at least one woman. There is that one person that will take your heart. Okay, go go agulina nebo okolachi nebo okolachi owulira ngo omufiirako. They are not perfect, and even when someone tries to point out the fact that the other person is not perfect, you already know this person is not perfect. You don't even know why you love them. That's how God made this species, us. We were made to love other people as well, and we were made to love one person more than others. Okay, but that's not a permanent kind of feeling. You will love this person, and the time will come, and for reasons that sometimes you may not be able to control, you will have to leave them and find other people to love. That's why, because that will happen whether you like it or not, you must learn to love yourself. Because when you learn to love yourself, you can even ignore the things that other people may think, oh, these are not ignorable. How could you get? Because apparently you're not loving them, but you're loving yourself. You're loving your peace. Okay, so self-love, you see how you love the opposite sex. For example, who was this? Henry, the way you loved your woman, or the way you love your woman, that kind of love, you should love yourself more. Okay, or you should give that love to yourself, not to anyone else. And then you can then give some love to another person, because apparently if you can't love yourself, you cannot make yourself happy, and if you cannot make yourself happy, no one, and I mean absolutely no one, will make you happy. You get happiness comes from within, but you cannot be happy unless you experience what love is. Okay, because when we love people, we do stuff for them. When we love people, we sacrifice for them. When we love people, we don't do things that hurt them, whether they know or not. Okay, that's when we love people. That's why when the person you love betrays you, you ask them, how could you? Because then you thought they loved you. Okay, and the fact that they have betrayed you, that means, my God, they could not have loved you. And you yourself, when you start loving yourself, you'll never betray yourself. Watch together. And when you get self-love, there is one person, of course I can't say his name. He's a person in the entertainment industry. He's a single man. He's in his 50s, but you may think he's in his 40s. He's about 54, 55, but he has grown very well. Because I personally believe he learned what it means to love himself. He's single. Of course, he has kids. He has had multiple women. You cannot know that he's in his 50s. Because he learned what it means to love himself. And when you learn to love yourself, you start giving yourself stuff that you would otherwise give other people and not give yourself. You see, when we love other people more than we love ourselves, we start giving them things and deny ourselves of those things. Instead of buying yourself a soda, you'll buy them a soda and then you'll take water. You get, and for us men, I'm sure, of course I've never done this, but I know men that do this. Men that says Rolex. Rolex. That's how it's supposed to be. If I can't afford that something for myself, I will not afford it for you. I don't know if I make sense. I should be able to afford something for myself, then I buy it for you. Why should I buy something for you and not buy it for myself? Then that means I love you more than I love myself. So today ku topic here self-love, what some of the things that you do to start experiencing, to start appreciating self-love? Hi Arthur. Arthur, talk about cars posted on Gigi app. Leave those alone. Those guys that post cars on Gigi, they are trying to pull you to get you to their selling point, and then when they get you to their selling point, when they get you to their selling point, then kati awo ne bakuyiya okitegeera kandi ne kugonja. Self-love, this is all self-love by the way. Omuntu ateyagala tasobola kwegulira gonja, aba awulira ayonoona ssente. Awoma? Yes, sir. Kale. So self-love. What else? No, not Gashumba. Not Gashumba. He's not Gashumba. Gashumba tani na mu entertainment industry by the way. Gashumba tani mu industry yo oba akola ki? Waliwo amanyi Gashumba kyakola. Hi Moses Adams. Hi Arnold. Lyaffe muliraba bannange, amakubo gaffe mugalaba ge galeetera n'abantu okwetamu emmotoka, okanika bush ne zikutama. Omuzungu asobola okugula emmotoka like the Japanese n'agivuga emyaka 10 nga takyusizza bush, tebalina humps, tebalina binnya, kyobola tuzigula nizibanga zikyalinga empya. Self-love is something that we should all fight for. So what are some of the things that you see, when someone loves other people seriously, they don't want to make any simple mistake. They don't want to be found at fault at any time. They want to be perfect in other people's eyes. They judge themselves. Me, I do self-love. Spoil yourself first before anything else. Exactly. Enough by building a vacation house near a waterside from March this year. I'm now finishing it, then start on tidying. I should start having cheaper vacations. Definitely. You can even do Airbnb with it whenever you're not using it, and still it makes you some money, because Airbnb is actually very profitable, much more profitable than hotels actually. So how do you do self-love? What you call out here? You, how do you do self-love? Hi Gerald. How do you do self-love? Before I give you ways in which you can actually love yourself better. Currently, how do you do self-love? When I tell you one of our apartment, you're going to agenda kukola. How do you do self-love? Gideon has told us how he's loving himself. How do you do self-love, guys? Take myself to pork, buy myself new clothes. Ano agenda nalyamu ku kanyama ne yeyiwamu obugoye. The rest of you, what do you do? What do you do? What do you do to love yourself? What do you do to love yourself, people? What do you do before I give you how you can love yourself better? Obalaba abayana bwe bavuga bavugira ddala bubi nnyo nnyo naye poliisi ate tebakwatako. Alabika abaakooye oba bavaawa. People, how do you practice self-love? So one of the reasons why you should actually practice self-love is because the demands of the world will never end. People will always want stuff from you. Leave alone this family that you started yourself without anyone forcing you. Because for us men, no one forces us to marry. Me, no one forced me. Me, I just went to, when I was going to Kuchara, to my wife's home, me, I just called my grandmother and told her ngenda Kuchara. Date but what me, I told my wife gendo bagambe to genda Kuchara, what we date. They gave us a date. I went to my grandmother and told her to genda Kuchara, date him. Then I told a few friends that I wanted to escort me, and I told them the date. So it was upon you to decide whether you wanted to go with me or not. I didn't want money from anyone. I just told them to genda Kuchara, and I started a family just like that. So that family is going to demand things from me for the rest of their lives. So what doesn't matter. They're going to want transport to go to work and school. They're going to want food. They're going to want clothes. They're going to want good medical care, whether I like it or not. So this is one of the reasons why I should actually practice self-love. I should love, because no one is going to love me better than I can love myself. Hey Arthur, my running weird noises whenever I was braking until I found that it's the brake hardware that was touching the wheel. Arthur, what can I do to ensure that the metals are firm? Which metals though? Which metals? Because you can change them if they are not very good. But which metals are you talking about? The brakes, the metals of the brakes, over the caliper? Because there is that caliper, the caliper that handles, that can also be faulty. Because me, I recently changed those hangers. Both of them, my brakes were making noises as well. So I bought the entire set. That's one thing you can do. If it's the other metals that for the brakes, you can also change them. It's possible that they are tired. It's very possible that they are tired. So you should have self-love because demands will never end. For us men, once you start a family, so the sooner you start loving yourself, the better. When you focus on fulfilling your responsibilities and forget yourself, you will die of stress first of all, because you give them one thing they want, another kids. I just remembered I have to take Urban a Rolex. He has been asking for a Rolex for 2 days, and I've not gotten the time to stop at a Rolex stand. So today I have to stop at a Rolex stand and buy him a Rolex. So if you start buying your kids ice cream, they'll want ice cream day. So when you're buying your kids ice cream, try to find ice cream that is affordable, that you can buy every day, in case your kids decide that they want ice cream every day. Ice cream oyo bwona omugula tajja kukumenya. So I'm actually going to buy fuel today, but let me first do half of the broadcast. I concentrate on the broadcast and then I go buy fuel. So self-love. Personally, I had trouble with self-love for a very, very long time, and I wasn't a happy guy. I was stressed for most of the time. I was stressed for I had a very bad mood. I would shout at people. Because the world was taking from me. The world wasn't giving back, and I expected the world to actually be giving back. Yet the world will never give back. The world will keep taking out of you. You can imagine you start your own business, take all the risk, put in all the work, and then URA has to, your employees have to take money first, the suppliers have to take money first, URA has to take money first, and then you get paid as an entrepreneur or as a business owner. You can imagine all the trouble that you have to go through so that other people get money first. You get what I'm saying? So the world is going to keep taking out of you. You buy your own car to enjoy, but your car gets money before you actually get, you maintain it, you put fuel. Like now I'm going to put fuel, which take it. So it will never stop wanting. Coming from a Christian perspective, I believe self-love is a biblical. Huh. Okay. But I believe there are certain things that even God will not just tell you. God will let you have common sense. Like, I mean, personally, from the time I started loving myself better, I am a happy dude. Ideas keep flowing. Things even started working out better for me. You get, because I started loving myself, I had a better mood. I could work harder. I worked better with other people. So other people worked better with me. And because people work better with me and I work better with them, business is actually better. You get. But if you decide to not love yourself better than you love other people, I totally understand what the Bible tells us, but you as an individual should try as much as possible to learn. What are the things? And by the way, the Bible doesn't tell you, I think the Bible tells you to stop doing evil things, right? The Bible tells you to stop doing bad things. I will not read that verse. Is it in the New Testament though? But personally, Brian, I'll be honest with you, I'm not the kind of person that religiously follows what the Bible says. Why I don't do that is I've been hurt more by people that move with the Bible than the atheists. I've worked with a lot of atheists, and they are some of the nicest people I've ever seen. I've worked with pagans, and they are some of the nicest people I've ever seen. Don't harm them, they will not harm you. You get it? But the people that wield Bibles, the people that be in church every Sunday, the people that go for night prayers, the people that say Jesus all the time, those are some of the most evil people I've ever met. So I personally decided that I'll be human. It's better to be human than to be Christian, because if you're human, you will definitely do what God wants. You'll do what God wants, even without knowing that it's a law. You get it. It will come naturally to you to be a better person, because you're human. Being human, okubera mu ubuntu. I'm sure you guys have heard of this Ubuntu, having Ubuntu, being a better person. So self-love, and the things I'm going to say that I've personally done, sometimes I cannot name them off my fingertips, but I realize that even when you read, these are the things that I do to practice self-love. You can't be. Let's focus on self-love, because we're not going to for you to love yourself better, the first thing probably that you need to learn, don't take life too seriously. I'm a performing artist, and majority of the time, I'm the person that is in charge of I'm the entrepreneur. I'm the business person, I'm the business owner, I'm the person that borrows capital to put up production, I'm the person that borrows capital to shoot the films, I'm the person that gets the money, I'm the person that sells my car to get money to do stuff. And a long time ago, before I started practicing self-love, I took things too seriously. So of course the first point is stop taking things too seriously. I used to take things too seriously. I remember in 2015, we would have rehearsals daily, and would rehearse from 4 p.m. and almost leave the rehearsal venue at midnight. And later on I realized it was useless. I mean, I've worked a lot with the whites, and these guys, they rehearse for 2 hours. And the one thing they make sure to do is they make sure that everyone they work with is efficient, that everyone they work with does their part, and they do it perfectly. Now, if everyone that you work with does their part perfectly, you will definitely have things moving without working very long hours. Bino ebyafe bye tukola wano e Kampala, nemwesanga nti omuntu mukozesa 20 hours omuntu ajja ku mulimu ssaawa emu n'avaawo ssaawa mukaaga ogw'ekiro n'omuwa emitwalo 2 naye nga n'ebyakoze bw'otandika okubibalabala tebiriiwo bwedde atudde awo okitegeera the whites don't waste that time, especially in the performing arts where I've been working with them. And it's only the administrators that can come to office, but even them, they work mostly from home. You get? So I believe the whites take things seriously, but they don't take the useless, the non, they don't take everything too seriously. So when I used to have those long rehearsals, and I realized that we used to achieve less than what we achieve now when you don't have very long rehearsals. I started taking things to a little milder. I take things a little lighter. Until right now we start rehearsals. We can start rehearsals at 3 and the rehearsals end at 5. And by 5 I'm the one that's telling the people, let's go home, guys. I know we are not ready, but let's go home. You go, do your best, okay? And then tomorrow come back when you're better than how you were today. And I realized that it works. The people I work with are happier when I don't take things too seriously. When I let them understand that this is your job, take it seriously. Work goes on better. Even at home, don't take things too seriously. I realize that a home is not happy when the man, for example, takes things too seriously. When you take things too seriously, the home is unhappy. But try to take things lighter, okay? It doesn't mean that don't be serious, but don't take things to, there are things that you can ignore. That's the first thing that I learned, okay? And this happened in the lockdown. In 2018 I started an institute, and it had started working out very well, and it was working out very well. And then boom, in 2020, when I had started enrolling big numbers of students, the lockdown happened and the institute went under. Do you understand what that means? That all the hard work that I put in for the past 2 years was going down the drain because, well, it was out of my control. I had put in a lot of work, and before the lockdown I had invested about 5 million in marketing, you get, and I was getting enrollments, but boom, the lockdown. And then we said, okay, maybe the next 3 months, because he kept locking down for 21 days, and then 21 days were never ending. As the 21 days were ending, he locked down again. 21 days were he locked down again. And then I realized you can work really hard for like 5 years, and everything you worked hard for goes down the drain in a month. You get? And then I realized, let's not be too serious. Work hard, but don't overwork yourself. You get? If you decide to exercise, but don't bruise yourself. You get? If you decide to love, but just understand that this person might actually not love you, or this person might find someone that they think is better than you, or you may actually find someone that is better than this one. So don't take things too seriously. When they tell you respect your parents, and don't take it too seriously, because when you take it too seriously, some of our parents are idiots. It's a fact. They're idiots. What was that about now? Yeah. They are idiots. They respect someone who accords them. I know they tell you that your parent is your God on earth, but come on. Some people were mistaken gods. They had kids because they could have sex. If they didn't know how to have sex, they would not have had kids. They are idiots. We all know an idiot that has kids. That stuff hurts, man, and it's true. Some parents are idiots and very selfish. Trust me. We have all seen guys nga their parents are the ones leading, putting them under, putting the high Matthias. I hope you're doing well. Constantly, you try to go forward and your parents push you back. You try to go forward and your parents push you backwards. They are idiots, but because you have to respect them, because you become stressed because you're respecting an idiot, and you end up doing things for the idiot. That's point number one. Stop taking things too seriously. The second thing that I realized would help you love yourself better, get a role model for self-love. You see how we get mentors in business, mentors in life. Get yourself a role model, or a mentor, you might say, for self-love as well. You admire the kind of person they have become, and you realize that they love because they have come that because they love themselves. Or mtu wembagambye ko mu performing arts ali more than 50 something years naye bw'otunuulira ababiri oyinza olowooza twenkana akula bulungi to the extent that I there's a time I asked him, hey guy, gwenga okula bulungi tukoze tutyo okukulako nga gwe okitegeera. Of course he did not answer, probably because he loves himself without even knowing that he's loving himself okitegeera. But self-love is very important. Find a role model and look up to them, but keep a distance. You see it and this applies to all life. Bofuna mentor in any aspect of life, have them mentor you from a distance. Whenever you look up to someone and then you get close to them, you start seeing their imperfections, and then when you see their imperfections, you are implementing the you throw them down. You are not guy perfect, because humans are not perfect, and the nearer you get to someone, the more imperfect they become. That's why our parents, when we were growing up, they looked perfect nga tomanyi nti muzadde wa agenda mu toyi nga tomanyi nti muzadde wa anaaba. That's why you guys mwa abavubuka abatanazimba nyumba tewali kikuzimbya nyumba n'oteeka toyi n'ekinaabira ebweru. Your master bedroom should have a toilet and a bathroom. Let the kids see you in a light that is not ordinary. The reason why we have that respect for God, because he's not among us. We don't even know him. Okitegeera yeekweke yo abakuba wano nomu tolaba ne firimu ya Yesu tetumulaba konga anaaba okitegeera gamba he's not ordinary. Even how he was born wasn't ordinary. We respect people that we are not really close to. Era ndoza laba Yuda bwe yasembera ennyo Yesu n'amulyamu olukwe nono gaayo ne yamwegaana emirundi esatu okitegeera, because they got close to him, they realized this guy is ordinary. This guy is ordinary, I can't die for him. You get what I'm saying? So get a role model for self-love and start emulating them, but don't get too close to them, because when you get too close to them, you will see imperfections which are normal, by the way. And when you start seeing those imperfections, they don't deserve your respect, then you don't deserve to emulate them, which is a very bad thing. So get a role model. Never about business, me, I have role models, and I've realized that when I get mentors, the moment you get close to them, you start realizing, oh, they struggle like me, oh, they are still better than you, but then because they struggle, it makes you start to believe that, oh, they are not like you. Just keep yourself a distance. Worship God. Care about my mom. Gave up with relationship after multiple disappointments. By the way, Gerald, you're going to get disappointments, but one time you are going to meet this girl, a wonderful girl. You are going to meet a wonderful girl, and you'll be surprised. You'll ask yourself where these people have been hiding. Point number 1 was stop taking life too seriously, and then point number 2 is my comments have disappeared. I don't know why, but I'm sure. Okay, they are back. They have disappeared again. I'll find them. And then this applies to mentors. Then point number 3 is stop watering every flower or fighting for every friendship. When I was in my late teens, 17, 18, because I started traveling when I was 17, I was performing all over the world. One memorable performance I didn't really understand. I performed at the ICC, the International Criminal Court. At that time, I think the president was still a lady. It was a black lady that was the president before this Japanese guy became president of the ICC. I performed for these guys. I even have a picture with them, I think. You get it? And then in there, I was with this guy called Yusu Endo. He's a minister of culture for Sierra Leone, I think. This guy that said, 7 seconds of waiting. I'll be waiting. Some of you are young, you don't even know that song. Anyway, then I did not know. Okay, then I did not know the kind of opportunities I had to travel and enjoy life and meet new people and just sit down and take a soda and breathe the air in. You get what I thought was I had a responsibility home to love my people, to be there for them, to try and make life better for them. I did not know what it meant to make life better for myself, because I wasn't taught that. I was taught to love other people, But even those people, I wasn't perfectly taught how to love them, because before you love yourself, you cannot love other people. Sometimes you get disappointed by people because they don't love themselves enough. They don't know how to love. For example, we guys that have been disappointed by girls, a girl keeps disappointing guys because she doesn't love herself enough to know that this person loves me, so let me reciprocate. She keeps being used by multiple guys, and by the time she wakes up, we have all seen this, by the way. We have seen this. We all have an ex that has been used by multiple, over 10 guys, and then all of a sudden she comes back to you telling you, trying to make you feel pity for her. We have all been there. Why are my comments disappearing? Something went wrong. Guys, I can't read the comments, but you keep commenting. Maybe they will come back later. Yeah. So when someone doesn't love themselves enough, they will not love you enough. So whenever you get disappointed by someone, just understand that they lack something from within, so they can't give it to you. So stop watering every flower. Stop fighting for every friendship. I remember I used to have this cousin of mine. This cousin of mine was fighting me every time, from all fronts, saying bad things about me, trying to make sure my endeavors fail. And my grandmother used to see this. Later on, my girlfriend, who is my wife, saw this, and they kept telling me, but I kept hanging on to this guy. Now, I thought he would get better. He never got better. The final straw was he knew almost all my secrets. And then the final straw was when he went to one of my employees, one of the girls that worked for me. I think he went to eat Easter. So he went to eat Easter at her place, and then he spilled all my secrets to her. Then she came and told me, no spa spa Charleston. So that for me, that was the final straw. Like, okay, I tell this guy thinking he's my best friend, and then he goes and spills all, like he told this chick everything that I confided in him. For me, that was the final straw. Ningamba, I've washed my hands of this guy, and I actually think that's the last time I ever had a very close friend that I tell my secrets. So right now, I keep my secrets to myself. My darkest fears, nobody knows my darkest fears apart from my woman. You get, because I've been with my woman for more than 10 years. And the moment I realize that she has shared any of my secrets, that's the day I'll stop sharing as well. So I kept watering this friendship. I kept fighting for this friendship, but it wasn't going anywhere. And then when I realized that, okay, it's not worth it, I stopped. The moment I realized that someone is not genuine, the moment I realized someone is not for me, I stopped being for them. It doesn't matter who you are. And I love my grandmother so much. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't be the person I am today. But the moment I realized she's not for me, I stopped being for her. Because when you fall sick, okay, when you fall sick, you'll be there. Yes, but you'll be in the battle alone. When you die, they put you 6 feet under. You're going to be alone.